Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again for Wealth Starts Today. How is it going? I'm Yvonne, and if you were looking for the spot to talk about saving for retirement, you are indeed in the correct place. So, we want to start this the way we always do by me asking you, how are you doing? How's it going? How are you faring? It's really important for me to do that because I know life is so busy. We have so many things going on. And sometimes we just forget to extend grace to others. Just, look and see who might be struggling with something or just want to know somebody out there cares. So that's why I do it because I am always just wanting to extend myself, say hello, and just make sure you are okay. That could be the difference between somebody having, an awful day or a great day. Just somebody acknowledging them, their struggles, just whatever. So I just always want to throw that out there and just know this community cares about you, okay? So, how's it going with me? Not a whole lot to complain about. I have to tell you, I've mentioned before, my friend Andy. He and I get together, oh, I don't know, every couple months, every 3 months. We'll go to a coffee shop and just sit and talk and laugh. It's so funny because people around us, they'll get big smiles on their faces. And you just never think that people watching you have a good time helps them to have a good day. And it's just so much fun to sit around with Andy and know that others recognize that we like each other, we respect each other, and we always have a great time. So, in one of the earlier shows, I told you I had shared a story when I don't know, I must have been 19, maybe at the top end 20, where I needed some cash. And why do bank robbers steal from banks? Because that's where the money is, right? And so for me, I went to my grandmother to ask because she's retired. She's living what I thought was a good life, right? And maybe she could spare a few bucks to help me out. I didn't go to my mom because I still had siblings at home and I knew her struggle. So, I just wasn't going to ask her for any cash, but I asked grandma and, she broke it down for me and said she couldn't help. So I was sharing this story with Andy and he looks at me, he goes, I did something similar around about the same age. He said, the only difference is my grandparents could afford it. They had, quite a bit of money. However, they chose not to help. So between he asking his grandparents for money and they said no, and my grandmother saying no, she couldn't do it. She broke it down for me, just could not spare the money. And he and I, well, he was upset about it because he knew grandma and grandpa could do it. I just accepted it and went on. But here's what we both discovered, that by our grandparents saying no to us, it forced a new sort of reality on us. We looked at life and we go, okay, how can I make this work? It made us become creative and self-reliant. We had no other options. What are you going to do? You can't get them, you can't borrow the money you're looking for. So what are my other options? And so it strengthened us in a way that, folks just handing us things could never do. So, in that respect, we were both very grateful for the lessons that we learned when we were very young. And so now that didn't end my money woes. It was another 20 years before all the blocks fit into place. It took a while, but once it did, once I got it, okay, I'm working toward, and this is a journey for me that, it's not a destination. It's what do I have to do each and every day to get me to where I need to be when I'm ready to retire. Now, I shared with you at one point, some younger people have said something along the lines of they are not interested in saving for a retirement. They wish to save to start a business. Oh, that's one strategy. That's not one I would employ, only because you don't know what's coming around the corner for any of us. We just don't know. And we just have to be prepared. We have to put ourselves in a position to prepare for what's to come. And again, we don't know what that is, but saving money each and every paycheck is what we need to survive. Now, the last time we were all together, I forgot my list. I'm sorry, because I know you guys look for this. Now, you can do this any way that works for you. It does not matter. For me, a blank sheet of paper is all I do. So that top line, what is my net pay each month? Okay, what am I taking home? So I'm going to stop myself for just a second, because what that includes is benefits that are taken from work, 401k, um, profit sharing, all of that. That all comes off the check before I even see the check. So when I get that paycheck, it's my net, goes at the top of the line. Okay. That second line is pay yourself first. You are as important to you as your bills. So don't ever forget that. And for some folks who will tell me things like, well, they don't have any extra money for whatever, whatever. It's like, figure it out. And we're going to do some things here because I have been doing this for years. I need to know where I am, where I want to go, and how close I am to getting there. So this is like I said, this is a journey. This is a process. This is stuff I will always do until the day I quit work, because I need to be ready for all of it. So that second line, pay yourself first, right? For me, that includes any sort of savings. So I put money away for my insurance, for my taxes, for vacation, and just regular savings. I will never have that emergency fund that has 6 months worth of salary in it. I know that that's what you're supposed to have. Well, a few thousand is all I can ever manage, and I've had to use it a time or two. So it's nice to have it. So there's that, the emergency savings, making sure I have that. And also, when I take money out every payday, what I've done, it's a set amount. Okay, I take X amount out, and I pay cash for almost everything. And I feel like I have to do that because it forces me to think about what I'm spending money on. So, there are times I will go into a store and think, oh, I'd like fill in the blanks. And I look at the wallet and I go, how much I have? How long does this that I have in the wallet have to last? And so there are all of these things I have to think through. And more oftentimes than not, I will go, whatever it is, I don't need it. And I will walk away. I just, for me, I have to do that because it just forces me to say, is this an important expense? So, you figure it out for you, whatever that looks like. And, I don't deny myself. I go on my coffee dates with my friends, with my family, and, dinner, happy hours. I will do all of those things. I just have to plan for it. And just think about that. I also have to plan for my massage because I get that twice a month. That keeps me in a good spot. So I save the money I need to do the things I want to do. Pay yourself first. That's what that means. And then the rest of the sheet are all my expenses. What do I have? What are my bills? What do I have to pay? And I want to know that before the bills come. I always have an idea of how much I need for electricity, for natural gas, for, I'm trying to think of, well, food, anything that is an expense, all of those things, I want to make sure I can cover them. I don't want any of those nasty surprises where I didn't put enough money away. I had that once. And, it forces you into a new mindset, right? So just keep all that in mind. And if you've done this all correctly, you've got a little bit left at the end of the month. You can save it. You can do whatever you want with it. The problem is going to be if you go through this exercise and you're short. Now, look at the expenses that you have and see where you can save money. I may have mentioned this to you guys. I have my cell phone company, whatever it happens to be. I have it. And I'm like, so it seems to go up. A year or two ago, I got an email that says it's going to go up. Okay, things go up. And then we made some sort of a slight change in our plan. And all of a sudden, the negotiated amount that I pay a month changed because, I changed the terms of the agreement. Okay, so now what am I paying? $130 a month for myself. Well, two, my husband and I both have cell phones for our cell phone service. And I'm like, there's gotta be a better way. So I'm looking at some other options, and I may have a new cell phone carrier here within the next few weeks. So, it's things like that. You have to reevaluate what you have, what you owe, and what adjustments might you need to make. So, just throwing it out there. And yep, just sharing my life with you as I tend to do, right? So here's the other thing. I am going through the Millionaire Next Door. And remember, if you don't get a chance to get it, that's okay. We'll talk about some things. It's a great book. I'm trying to think when it came out the first time, I'd heard about it, but I didn't think much of it. And then when I decided to just go buy it and now I'm reading it and it's like I'm just about done. But I love the stories that it tells. I just think it's really important. And as I've told you before, I still have student loans and I am putting as much money as I possibly can toward it every month. And it's so nice to see finally it wasn't always the case, but now that I'm paying what I'm paying, the balance is actually going down. I'm so very grateful for it. And every now and again, my husband and I will joke something about, the student loan money that I am paying could have gotten me a really nice luxury car. And I'm like, no, honestly, even if I had the money, I would not spend it on a luxury car. And I'll tell you why. Because one of the stories in The Millionaire Next Door, there was a businessman, very unassuming. He lives in some small neighborhood in the same house that he and his wife have been in for 30 years. You would not know that the man had millions of dollars in the bank. None whatsoever. He chose to live a frugal life. Oh, yeah, chose to live that frugal life. And good for him. He just, good on him. And it made me think about times I had a more expensive car. And I had gone downtown and I went shopping. I came back an hour later, whatever it happened to be. And the emblem off of the hood of my car was gone. What? Someone thought, I don't know, maybe they thought it would look good around their neck. I don't know. But yeah, it was gone. And so it made me think, maybe I don't want one of those pricey cars because it invites people to help themselves or at least think things about you that are not in evidence. Because if I had that sort of car, I would have had most of it, if not all of it, paid off because I don't like debt. And so if I live a frugal life, my future is set and people aren't looking at me as some sort of a mark. When people think you have money, they come knocking on the door. So just keep all of that in mind. They have a different perspective of you if you have these flashy things. So I would just as soon rather, live a frugal life. I just want to be normal folks, and I just want to interact with people in a way that folks aren't looking at me like, oh, she's got all this money. Nope, I just want to take care of myself, my family, my friends. So just frugal. That's the main thing for me. But enjoy your life because we only go around the sun, just however many times. Just enjoy your life. Those are the kind of things I want to leave with you. You know, Saving money does not mean you are stuck in this black hole of nothingness. Just enjoy your life. Just plan for it. That's all I'm going to say. Just plan for it is all, okay? Now with that, we're going to start to wrap this up because I want to keep these, in the 15 to 17-minute range. You're busy, I'm busy, and just it's our time to share. And if you enjoy this content, maybe you like to think about subscribing. Where it says subscribe, just go for it. Now, this is free content. I do this because I wished had been something like this when I was coming up. There was nothing. Yes, there are money managers out there talking, but they didn't speak to me. They didn't speak in a language I understood. Because for anybody to say I should not be saving for retirement because I still have debt, to me, that's insane. No, I'm just going to talk to you like normal people. And we need to put a little bit of money aside every single paycheck. We have to, because you don't know what's coming. And we just have to take care of ourselves. Okay. Now, with that, please be good to yourself. Be good to others. We are all we've got. And, a little bit of kindness goes a very long way. So with that, take care. Thank you for joining me for Wealth Starts Today. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And until next time, okay? Bye.